ATL with Nikki and Rah. I'm your co-host, Nikki Free.
And I guess that would make me Rah. And this week we're going to take a little diversion from our normal show, and we're going to discuss the tragic loss of Kobe Bean Bryant. Um, today's Monday. Kobe died yesterday, which was Sunday, and I remember being in the restaurant and picking up my phone and looking at Facebook and seeing this and thinking, oh no, this is not really happening. Like this is another hoax, which happens ever so often with celebrities. And then I picked my phone back up and I started Googling and I saw that this story was real. And for me, my first, I guess you could say, experience or hearing about Kobe was we both graduated high school in 1996. And I remember he took Brandy to his prom, and I was jealous. I was like, "Oh, he gets to take Brandy to the prom." But other than that, like outside of that, just he became one of the greatest basketball players ever. And out, he's a husband, a great father. He loved his girls, and the fact that one of his daughters was on the helicopter with them, it makes the story even more like it hurts a little bit more because not only did Vanessa lose her husband, she lost one of her babies. Um, it's a surreal feeling, and I'm still having a hard time dealing with it. And no, I never met Kobe, and I know people make a big deal about, well, why do people get so
Hmm.
sensitive
Which
about
is crazy.
celebrities passing? But we grew up together. We
And we
might not
all
have
feel
known
like
it.
you
Yeah,
have a connection
yeah.
to these
He's a
people.
part of my like. We became adults together. It's like it's one of those things. It's like that feeling doesn't go away, even though you're not a family member.
Right.
You still think about that. You still think about like what were their last thoughts. Did he get the? Was he holding his baby girl? Like it's so many like questions that we will never get the answer to.
Right.
But it's a tragic loss for everybody. And I myself I pray for Vanessa and her kids, the whole Bryant family, the other families that were involved in the accident. Also, it's something that I think that we're gonna be feeling for some time now.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I mean, I was a Lakers fan, but not, they weren't my number one team, and Kobe wasn't always my number one player. But you cannot separate the talent, the hard work, the family man that he was,
Yeah,
from the game. And I respected that. I found out, I was driving down I-75 and was in a traffic jam, looked at my phone, and saw the news on Twitter and immediately went to TMZ, and they had it posted. And while TMZ does have some unethical business
practices.
practices,
Yeah,
they hardly ever get the breaking news wrong,
right.
And so I had a catch in my throat. I was like, this just doesn't feel right. And I never thought that, Kobe Bryant's death would affect me the way that it has affected me. And probably more so because of the relationship that he had with his daughter
Yeah,
or his daughters. But Gigi seemed to be special. She
yeah,
was, she was always with him. And it really reminds me of the relationship that I had with my own father. And my dad died. I might start tearing up whenever I talk about my dad. I do, but my dad suffered from Parkinson's, and he died in November of 2016. And for a while there, I thought, why didn't I go with him? Why wasn't it a situation where we left together? I'm very close to both of my parents, but my father and I was his first child, and we just shared a very special bond, and we actually shared a bond over sports, primarily because I wanted to be a sports reporter, and that's what I went to college for. And my dad would call and talk analysis with me, and we'd share stories about who was the greatest. And my father loved Kobe Bryant.
And one thing that I found that was really special about Kobe and Gigi's relationship, he was being interviewed one time, and the interviewer said, "Well, you and Vanessa gotta try again. Y'all gotta have a boy." And he was like, "Oh, I don't have to have a boy." He said someone came up to them and said that, and Gigi was like, "Oh no, I got this." And so she was like, she let him know that that she's daddy's girl, and she's gonna be the one to carry on his legacy.
Yeah, yeah.
And she was well on her way to doing that.
And he was actually taking her
Yeah.
to a practice, and some other family members some other friends and families were among the ones who lost their lives. And but he was committed. You could tell he was committed to his daughter. I think he reveled in the fact that she wanted to play the sport that he so loved, and he so changed. But this is a hard one, man. This is a hard one.
It's really hard, and it's hard to see all of the other players just like everybody's hurting. Like everybody's hurting. To see them sitting on the bench, they're just breaking down. It's hard to like just accept the fact that this is really reality and this really happened.
Yeah, and I think many people, whether you were a Lakers fan or a Kobe Bryant fan, I think many people feel this loss greatly because he grew up with us.
Yeah.
He went straight from high school to the Staples Center, the house that he really built.
Yeah.
He went there at 18,
right,
and played there for 20 years, 2 decades,
and changed and quickly became one of the top 3 players ever in the NBA. And
he is synonymous with what Magic Johnson was able to do there. And Magic has said Kobe is the greatest Laker, that ever played. And so this loss is one that is tremendously tragic. And one, like you said, I think we'll feel for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, we definitely will. And just like it's one of those feelings, like, in my mind, that was my friend. And
that's
you lose a
okay.
friend,
and that's okay for people to, people keep thinking, or keep saying, I keep reading on Twitter and on, other social media sites, people are like, y'all act like Kobe was y'all friend, like y'all knew him. He didn't know you, but that's how we felt. And don't discount the way people feel about people who they love and people who they idolize and people who they support.
And if you're not going to sympathize for the person he was, at least have some sympathy for his family, for his wife, the fact that she lost her husband and one of her babies. And I mean, that's just being a human being with feelings, like to recognize that I don't want to see any jokes or anything like that. It's just take time to pay respects to the family and let them, go through their process, and let other people who feel in a certain way about it, let them go through their process also. Because it takes a while to get past death. Death is not an easy thing to deal with I don't think for anybody. I don't think anybody takes it lightly. So it's one of those situations where you just got to let people, and it's in what I've learned as you get older is no words that you could ever say to really make anybody feel better. Yeah. It's just that time you kind of, as time passes, you just learn to cope with it and deal with it different ways. But the hurt never goes away. It's always there. So again, I just want to say, to his family, my thoughts and prayers are with you. Everyone's family who was involved. We're praying for you all, and this is really a great loss.
It really is. I have never gotten over Whitney Houston's death.
Me either.
And so this one just feels the same. And what is crazy is that Whitney Houston died the day before the Grammys, and Kobe died the morning of the Grammys. And that's just so ironic that happened. And the Grammys just didn't feel the same, didn't feel the excitement. You couldn't watch. I had to turn away from all of the news about Kobe because it was infuriating.
I didn't necessarily keep watching the news. I just kind of I just got quiet and just turned everything off and just because being the same age as someone and seeing what they accomplished and seeing that I'm trying to make moves and do things, and it's like he didn't get to finish. He didn't get, his story was still
being written.
It was like he didn't get to finish. And at 41, you never think that that's gonna be your end. You never, and I think this is why it's so important that we call our family members. We tell them that we love them. You hug on your nieces and nephews and cousins and just because you never know.
Yeah,
You
you
just
don't.
never know. And when it's your time, it's your time. There's nothing you can do about it.
That's true.
And
That's true. That's why I believe that one of the biggest mistakes that we make in life is thinking we have more time. And so I always try to live my life to the fullest, like Martin Lawrence said, till the wheels fall off. I'm going to travel, I'm going to eat, I'm going to shop, because you know what? You're dead a lot longer than you're alive.
Yeah.
You know? And so you just got to look at life as a gift, love it every day.
Yes.
Love those people who are around you every day. Tell them how much you love them. You know, don't be shy to be affectionate. Show, you know, that love. The last video that I remember of seeing Kobe and Gigi was one where he was giving her some
Advice,
instruction,
yeah.
or he was telling her about a play or something at a basketball game they were at. And I just thought, this guy has gone from being you know, when Kobe first came out, there was a little bit of controversy around if he was going to be the greatest player, if he deserved all these accolades. And to watch him mature
Yeah.
over the years and become this great father and this great husband and this great businessman and this great philanthropist, and always looking, you know, out for kids and making sure that, you know, they were protected or that they had access to the things that, you know, he could provide. You just have to sit back and say, why?
Why?
You know, it's hard to question, but he said, why?
It's hard to question, but it's like, you know, I read somewhere where someone said that, you know, I guess the good part of, or not, I don't want to say good part, but the fact that him and Gigi was together, and you know they still together,
Yeah.
even though, you know, they're not here in the physical,
Yeah.
they're together.
I mean, can you imagine her walking away from that crash without him, or
Yeah.
him walking away from that crash without her?
Yeah.
You know, I know that Vanessa, Kobe's wife, and Gigi's mom is probably absolutely devastated.
Yeah.
There are no words that can probably describe the pain that she is going through. But maybe, just maybe, she'll find a little comfort in knowing that they were together, and that they remain together. You know, wherever they are, they're together.
Yeah.
So we just, again, wanted to take that opportunity to talk about the life and legacy of the legend that is, you know, Kobe Bryant. And while this show is about fashion, sometimes we're going to talk about the news of the day, the hard news, even if it doesn't, you know, fit within the fashion realm of this show. We just think it's very important to acknowledge what a legend Kobe Bryant was and the legacy that he is.
So guys, you know, the Grammys were held yesterday, just hours after the tragic loss of Kobe Bryant, and they were held in the Staples Center, the house that he built. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Grammys and some of our favorite picks, best dressed, or are we doing worst dressed?
I don't really necessarily have a worst, but I fell in love with my best, so I'm just going to share my best.
I didn't watch the Grammys. I just wasn't in the mood for the Grammys last night after the news earlier that day. But I do have a favorite pick from that weekend, and it was Jay-Z's mauve suit at the Rock Nation brunch.
Make sure you say mauve.
Mauve.
Not pink.
Not pink.
Because Jay got somebody real right together that said he had on a pink suit.
By Davison Petit Ferrer. And he's a designer. He makes suits for Diddy, Omari Hardwick, and of course Jay-Z. So he does very nice suits, but that color really stood out, and it looked good on Jay.
That's what I was gonna say. What about that suit did you really like?
I think the fit of the suit and just the way Jay rocked it. I love that color. I wear a lot of colors that's similar to that, so I love the color in itself. So I think that was something that was, you know, you don't see a guy in every day, especially Jay-Z, to see him in that. So, and the fact that he corrected, it's not pink, it's mauve.
Hey, that's what a billionaire gets to do. He gets to wear whatever color he wants to wear. And
he did it well.
He did that. Now, the suits that he wears, the suits that Diddy wear, they are tailored to perfection. A T. Yeah. And remember we talked about that before. We talked about actually having a tailor, and it's not that expensive, people. But when you have a tailor that fits those clothes just right on you, it looks like you were born in them. Right. And that suit, Jay-Z was wearing that suit. His wife was wearing that dress.
Oh yeah,
that was a beautiful dress she had on.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So who was some of your Well, who were your picks
for the
Best
Grammys. So I did watch the Grammys last night. I had to turn off the news. You know I'm a news buff, but I had to turn off the news about Kobe because it was just too sad. You know, very very sad. So I said I'll go watch the Grammys. Let me see if my girl Lizzo is gonna pull out all of these wins. I think she got 8 nominations and she only won I think 1 or maybe 2. I think she only won 1.
Okay.
But I loved Lizzo's opening dress. It was a black, kind of beaded with, it looked like it may have had rhinestones on it.
Okay.
And that was by Christian Soriano, who
She didn't have her ass out this time.
she did not have an ass out this time. She didn't. The whole ass was not
The
this
whole
time.
ass was not.
But she did take off the beautiful gown that she was wearing, and she had on like a bodysuit and some tights.
Okay.
But it was exactly what her dancers had on as well, so it was very appropriate, you know, for the Grammys.
Right.
And the Grammys is, you know, you come in with that rock star,
Yeah.
you know, look a little bit over the top. But my absolute favorites were Chrissy Teigen and John Legend. Chrissy had on a hell of a dress. It was a orange, which has become my favorite color, guys. I love the color orange. But she had on this beautiful orange, flowy, ruffly gown. I think it was by Viana Couture. No, it was by Yanina Couture. It was by Yanina Couture. Beautiful, flowing. I mean,
They usually always get it right.
They do.
They compliment each other.
They
well.
do.
Yeah.
But that dress just stood out to me last night. And then John Legend's Alexander McQueen suit, that gray suit. People have been talking about it and not necessarily good things about it.
What did they say? It was too tight?
It wasn't tight. It was an asymmetrical jacket.
Oh, okay.
So one side was a regular suit jacket. The other side was a little longer and had pleats. But I absolutely loved it.
Okay.
I loved when men take risks
Yeah.
with a traditional classic look. Yeah. And I thought they complemented each other so well. And John won another Grammy last night. So they were on point. On point. There were some people that I did not understand they whole get up. I ain't understand it at all.
I did see, what's his name? The young boy. The pink. He had on all pink.
Who?
The rapper.
Tyler, the Creator?
Not, well, I saw that wig. That looked like that wig Nene had.
And I'm just old. I'm just gonna admit that I'm old. Oh. But I'm gonna admit I'm old. I'm just gonna admit it. Because when I saw Tyler, the Creator's performance, I had to go on Facebook and say, "Can somebody explain this to me?"
I think I saw that post.
I don't understand. And the kids love him. And more power to you guys. I just didn't understand that.
I don't really get into his music either, and I mean, I guess that makes me old too. But I don't understand. I don't necessarily understand his music, but
they love him.
Yeah,
the kids love him.
Yeah.
I thought Lil Nas X, Lil Suit. I don't know. I don't understand his
It looked like something that maybe Nicki Minaj threw out, and he said, "Oh, I'll take it."
I guess I don't know. I don't get his cowboy neon suit. I just don't get it.
And it had, I saw that picture. And
all kind of stuff. Billie Eilish, the young lady, I think she's 19. That she swept all the major categories. She does have some good music. Now I do like some of her music, but her whole look was a little culture vulture-ish.
Really?
She had on, this black with green accents Gucci custom pantsuit that was oversized, and she had the green hair, black.
I did see pictures of her, I saw the green hair, but I didn't see her full outfit.
Yeah, and then she had green long nails with Gucci with the G's all in, and it was like, oh, okay. But when African Americans come out like that, wearing that same stuff, it's inappropriate. We look crazy, but okay, Billy, I see it.
I do want to say that I did like Meek Mill's suit, his performance suit. I saw the
blue
clip,
suit.
the blue suit.
Mm-hmm, that was
it looked good on him, and it's that's not an everyday look for him. So to see him dressed like that, I did like that.
And I didn't really understand Billy Porter's look. Billy, I love, don't get me wrong, folks. I love Billy Porter. And he has made some entrances at, different events wearing some amazing pieces. And he has totally turned the fashion world upside down with the things that he wears. But the last two outfits, the one he wore to the Golden Globes with the green two-tone dress and all the butterfly tattoos, and then last night's look, I'm like, come on, Billy, bring it back to the classic
of that
stuff.
look last night, and I think with him, it's just starting to get to a point where it's kind of like, okay, like you don't have to always be outrageous, or it's kind of like when Lady Gaga was doing all the crazy stuff,
and Nicki Minaj,
but they've toned it down.
Yeah. It becomes gimmicky.
It becomes very gimmicky, and then I saw that his hat. It has these shingles, and it opened up.
It opened up, and his stylist was interviewed on the red carpet and said that the stylist himself had a remote that could open it and close it.
That's just too much. That's too much.
Billy, we love you, Billy Porter. Love, love, love. I watch everything that you're in, but go back to like the white with the beautiful feathers, the white tuxedo with the beautiful feather train, and that beautiful black ball gown that he wore last year sometime. I mean, Billy can dress, and he turns, the fashion world upside down with what he's doing. But go back to that, Billy, because it's bordering on tacky.
Too much.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's kind of like now you're just doing stuff
to stand out, just to stand out. Look at how, like you said, Lady Gaga, Nicki Minaj, even Cardi B. Cardi B is a fashionista to be reckoned with, and her stylist Colin Carter does a fabulous job with her. She went from the hood look to these glamorous. She's sitting front row at Chanel shows in Paris because of the way she dresses. So it's out there. Yeah. I think it's gonna come. Billy gonna bring it back around and give us something that we can all just be like, yes, Billy Porter.
I hope so. I really do. But they also said that Taylor Swift, Jay-Z, and Beyonce skipped the show.
Yeah, they weren't there. Yeah. And a lot of people are having issues, with the Grammys right now and saying, the CEO of the Grammys, she quit, or she was executive director, whatever. I'm messing her title up. But she quit and said that she saw a lot of sexism, a lot of racism in the way that the winners were chosen. Puffy, at the event the other night, he called them out on it. So a lot of people, I think, are finally at the point in their careers where they're like, you know what? We're not playing this game anymore. Yeah. Do it right, or we're not going to do it.
So in closing, guys, we really want to send our thoughts and prayers out to the Bryant family and all of the families that were involved in that tragic accident. It's a tremendous loss, and our thoughts and prayers are with you all.
And I think the death of Kobe reminds us all that life is precious and life is short, and that we have to tell the people in our lives all the time that we love them, that we're there for them, and that we have their backs. And so it was so appropriate that the Grammys were held in the Staples Center the same day that Kobe Bryant, who built that house, was held. And I think Alicia Keys did a fantastic job of keeping the mood light, but of also making sure that we honor the legacy and the legend that is Kobe Bryant. Yes. With that, we're going to sign off. And I want to make sure that you guys follow the show on YouTube. It's Life and Style ATL on YouTube. And then send us comments, questions, your feedback, some suggestions to our email, lifeandstyleatl@yahoo.com.
And leave those comments in the comment section. We like to read those. So we'll see you on the next episode.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.